Welcome to our 2024 Veterans Day video. Monday, November 11th is Veterans Day, a day to celebrate and honor those who have served. Today, we are going to introduce some of the staff that have served at NVHS.
What's up, Bulldogs? It's Veterans Day, and I'm joined with Mr. Brewer. Oh, Mr. Brewer. And we're just gonna ask a couple questions, like, what military branch did you serve in, Mr. Brewer?
I was in the United States Coast Guard.
Okay. How long did you serve?
I did 8 years. Part of that was active duty, part of that was reserves.
All right. And when did you join?
2009 was when I took the ASVAB and went through boot camp, and then I got out in 2017.
Wow. What inspired you to join?
Well, I wanted to do something for my country. We were in the Iraq War. I thought I should do my part, but then I also wanted to boost my resume for future jobs and kind of open some doors to maybe go to college later, and it did all that for sure.
What was your rank in the military?
I got out as an E5.
Okay. And have you done any deployments?
Yeah, I did 2 deployments, one to South Korea, and then I spent a year in Kuwait and Iraq.
What was a lesson you learned from your time serving?
The biggest lesson I learned was probably how good we got it here in the US, right? When you go to other countries, especially countries that you might be in conflict with, I definitely saw like how amazing life is here in the US.
Life sure is great here in the US. Do you have an interesting story you can tell us from your time in service?
A good story, good question. Good story I got is, so when I was in Iraq, I served on an oil platform. There were probably like 30 of us coasties and Navy personnel, and then over 100 Iraqi soldiers that we worked with. And there was one guy, he was around my age, so he's in like his young 20s probably. He always told us about his family and how he had kids back home. But we would do watches, security checks, all sorts of stuff with him. And when you get deployed, people usually send you boxes of like food and goodies and just stuff, right? People support the veterans. So I got this box that had like Jif peanut butter in it. And I took a jar of Jif peanut butter, right? That we like just go to Hagen and buy for like $3, or you go to Fred Meyer. We don't even think about it, right? But this jar of Jif peanut butter, I gave it to this guy who I was working with, this Iraqi soldier. I was with him all the time. And he started to cry. Like his eyes welled up when I gave him the jar of Jif peanut butter, and then he was like, oh! Which again, like I'm in full battle rattle. I got my M4 on me. He's got his guns on him. I was like, hey, what? Like usually we don't touch each other, but he takes the jar of Jif and he's like, peanut butter. I love peanut butter. I have not had peanut butter since the war started. I have 2 kids who have never had peanut butter since the war started. I am not going to open this peanut butter until I get home and I can have it with my kids. And I just stood there. I was like shocked. Like, what is that? I couldn't believe it. Like, how, again, like Jif peanut butter, we all just take it for granted. But this guy had never shared that little thing with his kids back in Iraq. So like that was something for me where I was like, okay, what am I doing with my life? What's going on here? Right? It was just quite the impactful event.
Wow, that is very impactful. Thank you, Mr. Brewer, for your time and your time serving.
Thank you.
Hey Bulldogs, it's Joe. I'm here with
Coach T,
All right, Coach T. What military branch did you serve in?
the Navy,
And how long did you serve?
8 years.
What year did you join?
In 2001,
What inspired you to join the military?
I wanted to serve and protect my country, and so I joined.
What was your rank when you got out?
I was an E5.
And have you done any deployments or tours?
Yes, I did 4 deployments in 8 years. I went to Turkey twice, Saudi Arabia once, and Iraq once.
And what was a major lesson that you learned from the time you served?
A major lesson: be on time, accountability, honor and commitment are some of the few things that I learned that's very important.
Do you have any interesting stories for us?
Interesting stories that I could tell the kids. When I was in Iraq, we had a mortar hit the base, and a bunch of the people in my command ran out to hear what the noise was. Let this be a lesson to you: do not run towards loud noises. I stayed in where I was going to be safe, and I did not run out there. So let that be a lesson to you. do not run towards loud noises.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach C.
Thank you.
Now let's recognize all of our staff members who have served.
Thank you, Mr. Brewer, for your service. Thank you, Mr. Brewer, for your service. Thank you, Ms. Thogerson, for your service. Thank you, Ms. Thogerson, for your service.
Thank you, Patrick, for your service. Thank you, Patrick, for your service. Thank you, Coach T, for your service. Thank you, Coach T, for your service.
This week, we take the time to acknowledge our veterans and the significance of Veterans Day. If you have any family, friends, or loved ones who served in the service, make sure you thank them for their service and their sacrifice to this country. To all the veterans out there, we thank you.